Good afternoon, it's Eva. Today I'm going to be talking about the story of Raab, I hope I'm saying that right, and the spies. And this had to do with the Israeli people. Moses had died, and like some crazy old age. I can't remember, 120 or something. And Joshua, which I don't really know that much about Joshua, was put in his place to lead the people to the promised land. So then one of the places they had to conquer was Jericho. So Joshua sent 2 spies to go, climb the walls and go in there and try to get information. So when they got there, they scouted the land like they were supposed to, but of course they needed shelter and they needed subsistence and they needed, to be hidden from the king's guards so that nothing terrible happened to them, because the king did get word that there were spies. He didn't know how many, and he didn't know what they looked like or anything, that had been dispersed to get information. So there was a prostitute named, I think, Raab, I hope I'm saying that right, and the spies knocked on her door and she let them in and she fed them and protected them, and she hid them under like some kind of burlap bag and some flax or something. I don't know. I think on the roof, when the soldiers came, she lied to the king's men and she said that they had been there and she sent them away, and that they were on their way to the wall to climb back over it and run off. So she tried to get the guards to go on like this kind of red herring chase, and then she went up and got them in, and then she talked to them after she cared for their needs, like, with rest and substance. I don't know why I keep saying substance, food. And then she asked them, she said, I know that I'm, she was a prostitute, which in those days, like, you're really only a wife or a prostitute. There weren't like a lot of things for you to do except, work in the fields and stuff like that. But women were property of men, and that was that. So she knew that in the eyes of men of God, or probably the eyes of everybody, that she was considered less than and sinful and would be not considered worthy of saving. But she just had a frank talk with them, and with no pretense, complete humility, complete comprehension of her position, and the reality of the situation. She was like, look, all of us here have heard that Moses parted the Red Sea. We know that your God is real and mighty and could slay us, and that you are the chosen people. Like, we all know that, and we're all terrified, and we all don't doubt that our city, our where we live is going to fall. We don't believe that our king can save us. And I know I'm going to die and my family's going to die if you don't intervene. So she asked if they would spare her life, her siblings' lives, and the husbands and wives and children of her family, everybody in her family, the elders. And they said if she was able to safely get them out of there, that yes, that she would no harm would come to her, and that to mark her door, and so that they would know. And so they were then again, like, people were coming to closer and closer to where they were. So she knotted up, she had, blankets and shawls and everything. It's like the desert, so everyone's wearing turbans and scars are on their faces. So she knotted up material as best she could, and then she tossed it out the window, and she let them climb out the window to freedom. And so when the battle ensued and when they came to take over the city, she was spared and her family was spared. And so what's the point of this story? The point of this story is that ordinary people are the ones who risk their lives for the greater good. It's not like the movies. It's not like, of course there are like great heroes and, in history and, in everything we study, we all worship certain people, as mentors and idols, and we think that, not idols in a bad way, but like, people we look up to. Like, I have like some kind of hyper fixation on Princess Diana. Like, everybody has somebody that they think is like the equivalent of like a true hero, and somebody that to them represents how they would like to be and how they would wish most of society would emulate, So my point is that yes, there are those people who are great leaders and are in the public eye, and everybody is drawn to them because of their quiet power and their missions and devotion to their ideals, and like that they're willing to risk their lives and put everything on the line for what they believe in, and like they know more than likely that they're putting themselves at risk. But in all reality, heroes and heroines and people who move the needle and make society better and improve our daily lives are really normally just regular people. And regular people are flawed. All our heroes are flawed too. We like to look beyond that, right? We're easy to forgive who we admire for anything that maybe we don't like about them. We set that aside, or we make excuses for it, or whatever. But the truth is that like everybody has parts of them that they're ashamed of, or parts of them that are unlikable, or just unresolved things, that are vices, addictions. failings, weaknesses. And all great people have those too. But my point is that one of the things that why I like Bible stories so much, and why I like this story so much, and why it means something to me, is because it shows that average people are really the ones who change circumstances for people in tiny, minuscule, and sometimes bold ways, but more than likely, all those people will never be remembered. Nobody, except for by that person they helped. But I mean, it's not like their names, they're not going to get fame or recognition, or no one's going to know their story. It's not going to be like written in the Bible. I mean, this is the Bible. You know what I mean? Like, it's not like going to be something that's recorded and probably no one's even going to know about it. But that's what makes it so awesome, because it proves to us that all of us can make amazing differences in each other's lives. Like, we don't have to be extraordinarily successful, or, sorry, my fan's on, or rich, or, I mean, real acts of charity no one's really supposed to know about. You're not supposed, I mean, it says in the Bible over and over, you're not supposed to be like the Pharisees and stand on the corner and pray really loudly so everybody realizes how holy you are. I mean, that's not, if you're trying to get recognition for like humanitarian efforts, unless you're doing it to like raise money or improve the cause, I mean, that's just straight up honestly weird, and it's false, and it annihilates what you're trying to do. It takes away the beauty of a kind gesture, or benevolence. A gift towards somebody that you did out of the goodness of your heart, I guess is what I'm trying to say. And I mean, honestly, one of the things that's helped me sort of do this thing now where I'm trying to talk about my traumas and things that happened to me and try to use it to help someone else. I know that's so cheesy. I know that sounds so cheesy. But it comes from a great fear of, well, not fear, that's probably the wrong word. A great understanding that, I mean, after I die, like, you know, only so few people are going to even remember any of those stories about what happened or what I went through, what my family endured. I mean, I'm sure my children or grandchildren will remember them for a while, but then once they're gone, like, it just vanishes into the vacuum of the universe, you know, like, there's no, unless you're like an author or a filmmaker, an artist, or, you know, an inventor, or somebody who's been recorded as having done something, all of our stories are just, they're all going to be gone, you know. So that's sad for the good stories and the things that are important that we wish would live beyond us. And like, my favorite movie about that is Blade Runner, the first one, because it talks about that in depth. Roy and Rachel, they're like replicants, and they only have like, I think it's 4 years to live or something. And one of the great speeches of that movie is at the end where, the male replicant, Roy, is dying, and he talks about how many amazing things he's seen and incredible things that he's got to do that like normal human beings who have a whole lifespan and family to remember them, or like they have longevity past just the experience. Like he knows all his amazing moments are gonna be like the famous line, are gonna be lost like tears in rain. Of course, on cue he starts crying, and he's a gorgeous man, and Harrison Ford's just like enamored of him because he's the villain character in the story. Well, I mean, he's a villain because he's angry that he's angry that he's gonna die, and nobody gives a shit, and he's like not a real human being. He's jealous of real human beings. He's envious of like Harrison Ford's character. Who is it? Rick Decker, who's basically, his job is to go around and what do you call it? Not kill, but not terminate, to like retire the robots, right? And then like at the last scene, they get in this big fight, and Decker falls off the ledge of this building, and it's pouring rain, and he's slipping, his hands are slipping on the whatever bar he's holding on to save him so he can crawl back up there. But his hands are about to slip, he's gonna die. And then Roy, in this crazy moment of I don't think it's not forgiveness. It's what it is like Roy is so desperate for life, to stay alive, to still be alive, to still live, to not die, to be able to extend himself, because he knows he doesn't have a soul. He knows when he dies there's not going to be an afterlife. He's not going to be reincarnated. Like nothing's going to happen to him. He's just going to be like as if he never existed ever at all. Like nobody is going, he's not going to ever, his essence is going to be just gone, because he wasn't real, I guess. Though he feels real, they all feel real. That's the sick part. The sick part of the whole movie is it's this corporation, and it's kind of like AI. Like they're trying to make robots to do things that, people are annoying, right? Because people have willpower, and people will rebel and not want to do stuff and make decisions that maybe corporations or governments would rather they didn't make those decisions. So, to make a robot that is even more agile, smarter, more good looking, more powerful than a human being, and will do what you say because it's programmed to, and it doesn't have a choice, and it has nothing to live for because it's not real. Though they lie to them all. That's the sick part. They put these chips in them so they think that they put chips of memories in them, so they, like this whole thing with Rachel, the actress Sean Young plays her so brilliantly, is she has all these memories of her mother teaching her the piano, and like she has all these memories, and she has photos, and then like the super sad part of the movie is like, she's with Decker, and he has to tell her that, he doesn't have to, but he decides to tell her the truth and spare her like spare her the, I guess, the cruelty of believing she's something she isn't. Like the cruelty of not knowing. Like, isn't that like the worst thing? Like, it's like that's the great irony of life, right? Like, we all say we want the truth. We want to know the truth, right? We want to know if people are deceiving us, or if there's something going on we don't know about, or there's something about our lives that's going to happen that's going to greatly affect us. Like, we want to know. We don't want to be kept in the dark. We don't want to be the last ones to know. But ironically, usually with stuff like that, it's usually information that is devastating. And so, like, there's always a part of us that doesn't want to know. Like, there's always a part of somebody, especially with, like, intergenerational trauma or family dysfunction. Like, there's always a part of you that, as you ask for the truth, whether or not you'll get it is another story, but there's always that part of you that knows that you're not gonna like it, and it's probably gonna make you change the way you look at yourself and a lot of other people. And there's probably that part of you that's like, well, I'm speaking for myself. There's always a part of me in these situations that's like, wow, I always would just like to keep my little memories and my little illusions and not really have to face the truth, like why does it all have to be so disappointing? Like, why does it all have to be so such a letdown? Why am I crying about Blade Runner? But what is my point of this? My point is that